Good afternoon, I'm Raylene Ramsey. This is your afternoon news fix for Monday, the 18th of March. The government is getting tougher on unruly kāinga ora tenants. The Prime Minister's ordered the state housing provider to take a harder line on the chronically disruptive and crack down on those consistently in rental arrears. Political editor Jason Walls has more.
Chris Luxon has ordered kāinga ora to axe its sustaining tenancy framework, a policy he says has allowed tenants to remain in state houses no matter how threatening their behaviour or how much damage they've caused the property. He expects this will lead to more evictions of those who he says have lost their social licence.
Police and Customs have joined forces with US law enforcement to prevent close to 200 kilos of meth reaching New Zealand and Australia. Danica McLean reports.
The FBI-led task force identified a drug trafficking organisation and over 12 months collected evidence and seized drugs. 5 people have been arrested in the US. Security and International Police Liaison Inspector Paul Newman says authorities here helped their US counterparts build their case against the alleged offenders.
Winston Peters has welcomed his Chinese counterpart to the Beehive. The meeting comes as the Chinese government's expressed concerns over New Zealand signalling interest in joining the AUKUS intelligence sharing pact with the UK, US and Australia. Here's senior political reporter Sophie Trigger.
It wasn't the first meeting between Peters and Wang Yi, Peters acknowledging being hosted in China in 2018. He says he was delighted to return the favour today, after significant developments, not least a global pandemic, since the pair last met. Peters says today's a chance to reflect on the challenges and opportunities ahead and mark a decade of the comprehensive strategic partnership this year.
Meanwhile, Labour's Chris Hipkins has told Winston Peters to start acting like a deputy prime minister. Peters compared the last government's co-governance stance to race theory in Nazi Germany during his State of the Nation speech to party faithful. The Holocaust Centre says throwing around words like Nazi is offensive to Holocaust victims and survivors. Hipkins says New Zealanders expect greater leadership.
The sorts of comments that he is making are unnecessarily inflammatory, and I don't think that he's living up to the sort of standards of behaviour that we would expect from someone in that role.
Cordons are in place in some homes and businesses have been evacuated after an incident in Auckland's Kingsland. Police, fire and emergency in St John's say they were notified soon after 1 p.m. of concerns for a person's well-being at a new North Road address. Doctors are calling for an end to making a widely used benchtop material, warning it's deadly to stonemasons. The Australasian College of Physicians is urging the government to follow Australia in banning engineered stone, which can cause silicosis. CTU Acting President Rachel McIntosh says migrant workers are the most vulnerable.
They're here because of economic need, and the work that they're doing could kill them. So it's just a terrible situation to put anybody in.
Just sport. And the Warriors have re-signed playmaker Luke Metcalf to a 2-year NRL contract extension. Wellington's Michael Bracewell has spun through the Otago batting lineup, taking 8 wickets in the innings to lead the men from the capital to an innings and 42-run victory. Men's tennis world number 2, Carlos Alcaraz, has successfully defended his crown at the prestigious Indian Wells tournament with a straight sets win over Daniil Medvedev. Women's world number 1, Iga Swiatek, claimed the women's title. It's her second title of the year. I'm Raylene Ramsey and that is your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update tomorrow morning from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.